In 1 minute, how many times does your heart beat, your eyes blink, and your lungs breathe? To many people's surprise, it's actually a lot. The heart beats 60 to 80 times. The eyes blink from 2 to 50 times, and the lungs take 16 breaths. What happens when your organs can't handle this? For many people, their bodies simply cannot handle the stress that is put onto their organs. Their body stops fighting and their organs fail them. This is when an organ donation is needed. Every day, people are living in need of these donations. In fact, 121,000 Americans and 3,400 Ohioans are on the national waiting list right now. That's enough to fill a large football stadium twice. Sadly, there's not enough supply to meet the demand. Most people have to wait months before receiving an organ, with kidney transplants alone having an average waiting time of 1,219 days. And too often, the wait is too long, with 18 people on the waiting list dying per day. An example of this is Rhonda and Rob.
For Rhonda and Rob, life seemed to be going according to plan until Rob was diagnosed with diabetes. Rhonda supported Rob as he made all the changes doctors told him to, including changing his diet, losing weight, and taking preventative medications. But unfortunately, the disease was relentless. Rob was forced to begin dialysis for his increasing kidney trouble, and eventually he entered end-stage renal failure and was placed on the waiting list for a kidney transplant. Doctors warned Rhonda and Rob that the wait for a kidney transplant could be long, up to 5 years. Despite his deteriorating health, Rob's hope for a transplant never faltered. Even in his final days, he told Rhonda he was sure his health would turn around and a kidney would become available. Sadly, in February 2012, Rob passed away waiting for a kidney, just days before his 39th birthday. Rob didn't have to die, but when there is a shortage of people that are donating, deaths like this are inevitable. With just one extra donor, 8 lives can be saved as well as heal 50 others.
18 people on the waiting list die each day. Imagine how many we could save if we all were donors. Most organs for transplants come from deceased donors. Here's how that happens. A person comes to the hospital with a life-threatening brain injury, such as from an accident, a stroke, or lack of oxygen. The doctors work hard to save the patient's life, but sometimes nothing can be done. There's a complete, irreversible loss of brain function. The patient is clinically and legally dead. That's when being a donor can turn a time of loss into a time of hope. Because machines have kept blood containing oxygen flowing to the organs, they can be passed along. One person can give life to as many as 8 people through organ donation, and enhance the lives of 50 people or more through eye and tissue donation.
Each day, an average of 79 people receive organ transplants. While the death of a person is always tragic, organ donation allows for a silver lining to appear. One thing to remember is that every number in the statistic you view is a person who either needs your help and is waiting for a life-saving transplant, or a person who has left a lasting legacy through organ and tissue donation. Either way, each number represents a life. A mom, a dad, a brother, a sister, or a child. Someone who's important to someone else, maybe even you.
So what can you do to help? All it takes is to register to be on Ohio's Organ Donor Registry list. People of all ages can register, though those under 18 will need a parent's consent. Contrary to popular opinion, our health will never be compromised if you had to receive emergency treatment at a hospital, and most major religions support donation. So what are you waiting for? Simply by registering, you will be able to improve the lives of almost 60 people after you die.